Leave laws in Australia aren't just different, they're a whole nother beast. Between long service leave, award coverage, or even public holidays that differ just by the postcode, it's no wonder HR tools have trouble keeping up. That's why in this video, I'll be covering 10 of the best leave management options out there, including the good, the not so good, and what real users had to say about them online. So whether you're running a cafe in Melbourne or managing a construction crew in Brisbane, you'll know exactly what kind of solution makes the most sense for your business. But before we dive into the list, let's address, I'm sure, the most prominent question in your head right now, which is, of course, why can't I use any old leave tracker that's out there, or even a spreadsheet for that matter? It comes down to 3 words: modern awards interpretation. Australia has some of the most complex employment laws in the world. That includes casual loading, penalty rates for weekends and public holidays, different award rates for hospitality versus retail versus healthcare. Then there's the Fair Work Act compliance, single touch payroll reporting to the ATO, and SuperStream for super guaranteed payments. So as you can see here, a generic system won't exactly fit all your needs and of course can cause you problems down the road. You need software that actually gets the Australian workplace, unless you want to open yourself up to underpayment lawsuits or fair work audits. So now that we have that shared understanding in mind, let's take a look at the options before us. Number 1, Elmo Software. Now, Elmo Software is an HRS that has been built by Australians for Australians. They have over 3,000 organizations that use it, including 2 million users, and it has a 4.5 on 5 on Capteria. What users really like about it is that the compliance is built in. So all those laws I mentioned before, the modern rewards, the SuperStream, is all built in. It also has a modular system, so you can pick only what you need, and if you only need time off management, then this is a good choice for you. But it also has everything covering the full employee life cycle, including HR, payroll, learning, and performance. Now, it is a bit complex. As you can see, if you decide to purchase multiple modules, it could take months and not weeks to get set up, and because of that, there is a bit of a steep learning curve. Users online have also reported that support can be slow sometimes, ranging up to 48 hours for a ticket response. And because, of course, it is a large enterprise system, there is no public-facing pricing. You will need to reach out for custom pricing, which, of course, can delay things and depending on your budget may not be the best for you. But if you're a 100+ employee Australian company and you want full compliance as well as a solution that can meet your growing changes when you want more modules, then this might be the right fit for you. But if you're small, need faster support, and are more budget conscious, then I would look to some of the other options I'm going to be sharing today. Number 2, Vacation Tracker. Now, Vacation Tracker is the best-in-class leave management solution. It has integrations directly with Slack or Teams, so everything happens within those 2 apps as opposed to needing an outside dashboard, which it does have as well. It is easily set up and can be done in minutes and not even days, and is perfect for companies that have a more remote-first mindset. Now, in terms of pricing, there is a free plan that gets started, but for the more complex plans, it does range from either $2 or $4 per user per month, depending on your needs. Now, some of the complaints online you might hear is that it has limited advanced HR features, which makes sense given that it is only focused on leave management. And of course, depending on your needs, you may need to go to the complete plan if you have a more complex leave policy system in place. It has a 4.7 on Capterra, meaning it's been reviewed quite well, and users tend to overall be happy with the service. Now, the bottom line here is if you are a small to medium-sized company with more of a focus on being remote first, then this is going to be a good choice for you. But if you're looking to adopt something that has other modules outside of leave management, then you might want to look elsewhere or consider starting with Vacation Tracker and switching once you reach to that point. Number 3, Employment Hero. Now, Employment Hero is another all-in-one HRS system that is actually based in Australia. They have over 1 million employees and over 200,000 organizations rely on Employment Hero for the HR needs. Now, this was built specifically for the Australian market, and they even have a mobile app for non-desk workers. So if you have workers working at a site or workers who do not tend to use their computer all that often. Now, some of the complaints you might hear from users online is that it is a bit complex to set up, which is to be expected when you have an HRS, and support has been lacking in the last quite a few years. Another thing to keep in mind is that they do try to lock you into a yearly contract. So if you're looking for something that you could play around with first before getting a feeling, then it might be tough to start with Employment Hero. On Capterra, they do have a rating of 4.4 4 stars, which is quite high, meaning that users seem to be quite happy overall with their service. Now, once again, this solution is geared towards medium to large size enterprises who want an all-in-one solution, but also want a solution that's been built in Australia. But if you're looking for something that doesn't have the best customer support, or once again, is too overwhelming or locks you into a yearly contract, then I would skip this one. Number 4, BambooHR. BambooHR is one of the bigger names in the HR space when it comes to software. Of course, like the other two mentioned on this list, not only do they have a full HRS system, but they do have a leave management module as part of their offering. They have been rated 4.6 on 5 on Capterra, and they have high ratings across multiple different review platforms. Out of all the HRS that will be on this list, this one is by far the easiest to use as recognized by users, and is consistently praised for its beautiful design and something that employees actually enjoy using. They offer month-to-month contracts, which is great if you don't want to be locked in to a year or more, and they have a wealth of integrations, over 150 and counting. Now, recently, users have been saying online that there have been some pretty intense price increases, and you do need to contact sales for a custom quote. There is no flat pricing available, and the time of performance that we're looking at right here does cost a little bit extra. But if you're a business who wants something that's easy to use, it's going to be well loved by your employees, and that could be used month to month as opposed to a yearly contract, then this will be better for you. I would skip this one if you're looking for something you want to lock in for a multi-year contract, as you'll probably get a better deal. And if you know you'll stick with that software anyways, it's probably better to do that in its place. Number 5, Deputy. Now, Deputy is an HRS that's focused primarily on shift workers or people in the hospitality, retail, and healthcare space. It actually has quite high reviews on Capterra, a 4.6 on 5, and it was founded in Australia as well. So another Australian option for you to pick from. Now, the big allure of this software is, of course, how I mentioned, it's built specifically for those types of workers. So it does have all sorts of different modules and features that are geared towards that, including hourly tracking, payroll, time clock, etc. They also have the Australian Modern Awards compliance built right in, and they function on a mobile-first GPS with a facial recognition clock in if that's something you're interested in. Now, in terms of the negatives, what users tend to say online has come down to the pricing. They've noted that the per-user pricing adds up quite quickly with large teams, or if you happen to be a growing team. And of course, you will need the premium plan if you want both the scheduling and the time tracking. Some users have also mentioned that they can't view multiple locations simultaneously. And if you're a remote first team, then it's not really necessary to have something like this. It's more, again, if you have the GPS based team who want to use a mobile first experience. If you're in the hospitality range or have shift workers, then this is probably going to be the best suited for you. But if you're more traditional when it comes to your business or you have office workers, then I would stick to some of the other options that have been mentioned so far. Number 6, Tanda. Now, Tanda is the premium option when it comes to compliance. They have extensive modern award templates, single-click payroll export with penalties and allowances, and real-time wage cost visibility as you build your roster. There's also the ability to have remote clock-in with a PIN code and a facial recognition / selfie. Now, of course, Tanda is another HRS that works with modules, and as you can see here, you can bundle them together for a saving, but if you just want the leave management, you can just purchase that module and use that. Now, in terms of some of the chatter we hear online, users have noted that quality has dropped significantly in the last few years, and they tend to be aggressive when it comes to trying to lock you into a contract. But if you're a medium to large organization that has complex pay structures, then it might be worth it to pay such a premium. That way you're not spending too much time on manual work, and it can have everything automated in one solution. On the flip side, if you're more budget conscious, prioritize support, or if you're just a small business, then I would skip over this one and look at some of the other options I've mentioned so far. Now, here we have Leave Dates, another solution that is focused solely on leave management. No extra modules, no extra fluff. Similar to Vacation Tracker, it is very affordable, and they do have different plans depending on your needs and complexity of your leave policies. With a 4.8 on Capterra, users have praised how visually pleasing the UI is and how easy it is to use and see who's away on any given day. Some of the other things they have mentioned though is that it is quite UK focused, so in terms of the holidays, it might not encompass all the different ones you need for the Australian market, but the bottom line here is that if you're migrating from spreadsheets and you want a different option that's not just a full HRS, then Leave Dates might be worth your consideration. But if you need something more comprehensive when it comes to leave management in terms of advanced features, or you want a more comprehensive HRS, then I would avoid using Leave Dates. Number 8, LeaveBoard. Now, once again, we have a dedicated solution to leave management and nothing else, but in this case, there's more of a focus on small business or startups. With LeaveBoard's free plan, you can actually use it up to 9 employees, and they are quite generous with the features that they give you, including reporting, time off management, and an employee directory. Their automation is also quite good and can get you started very quickly. Now, the problems arise when you're looking for something with more depth when it comes to integrations. At the moment, they only integrate with email, so no apps like Slack or Teams, and because of this, there's fewer customization when it comes to how you control time off your organization. They also have very few reviews online, so it's tough to get a general sense of how users are feeling about the solution. But being realistic here, if you are a small enterprise or startup that is just getting started with leave tracking and you want to move away from an outdated spreadsheet, then it's worth giving a look to LeaveBoard and trying out their free plan, as it is quite generous. If you're looking for something that's going to grow with you or something that has deeper integrations because you want to work where you work the most, then I would choose something else on this list. Now, at the number 9 spot, we have Plan My Leave, another solution that's more for the budget conscious organization that doesn't have a very large budget. It is incredibly affordable, starting at $1 per user per month, and that's just for leave management. They also have a more advanced plan at $2 per user a month that includes all sorts of things, including NPS surveys, engagement surveys, OKR performance management, and the list goes on and on. The free trial period is also quite generous, giving you 60 days to test out Plan My Leave and see how it fits within your organization. Within 60 days, that's plenty of time for you to invite your users, set up your policies, and try it out for a little while before making that decision. Now, the bottom line here is that, as you can tell, it's a little bit less polished than some of the other solutions I've mentioned so far. But for such a generous free trial policy and for how cheap the plan is, it's worth giving it a shot and seeing how it fits within your organization, especially if you're extremely budget conscious. But if you want something that's a bit more premium feeling or something that's a bit more up to date with today's standards, then I would leave this as is and look to the other solutions I mentioned so far. I should also mention that there is very little review testimony across the different review sites online when it comes to Plan My Leave, so just keep that in mind when looking at this software. The final leave management option on our list is going to be, of course, Connecteam, another mobile-first, deskless worker-focused solution with a leave management component built in. Similar to Deputy, this was built specifically for non-desk employees with GPS time tracking with geofencing. It has everything you could possibly need, including a time clock, scheduling, chat, tasks, and of course, all the functions of HR built right in. Connecteam also provides you with incredible value with not only a free plan for up to 10 employees, but a basic plan that starts at only $29 per month. Because it's trying to be so broad and cover everything for the remote first workplace, it might be too broad and not deep enough when it comes to solving your problems. In the end, if you are a deskless operation, meaning you primarily work in hospitality or construction or some other industry that doesn't require your workers to be at a desk for 8 hours, then Connecteam is going to be a good choice for you. But don't take my word for it. On Capterra, they have a 4.8 out of 5 with rave user reviews. But of course, you can skip this option on your short list if you're an organization that primarily works in office. And there you have it, 10 vastly different options when it comes to leave management in Australia. Regardless of the size or industry you operate in, you'll be sure to find something that fits your needs on this list. As you do your own due diligence and research on these vendors, do keep in mind the following rules of thumb when picking a solution. You should find one with great support, as I'm sure you'll run into problems along the way, preferably transparent pricing so you can allocate enough budget on a yearly basis, something that's easy to use so your employees will like using it just as much as you do, and of course a mobile first interface if that's something that you need for your workers. I would definitely try to avoid companies that overpromise on features and underdeliver, ones that try to force you into long-term contracts, and ones that don't even offer you any sort of demo or pricing and are just not transparent about what they do. And of course, once you've chosen and implemented your preferred solution, you'll still need to figure out how you actually manage your employees' time off, because there's a lot more nuance than just setting up a solution and letting it run in the background. You always need to ensure that your policies are fair, employees are given appropriate amounts of time off, and of course, you're ensuring that your workforce is healthy and always energized and productive. If this is something that interests you, I actually put together a video covering all this in detail, and you can watch it by clicking right here. Hopefully, I'll catch you in that video.